G'day, how you going? I'm Ian Harris from Australia and I want to teach you what you can paint in acrylic, alright? Before I get started, I want to get the size of my canvas and the colours going up the screen. That way you can jot them down, pause and paint along with this video. It's designed to do that, alright? So this is going to be a bit of a Halloween cat moon theme, something real Halloweeny, alright? So I want to bring you over here without wasting any time and I want to get right into this. So I'm going to have a mound here and a stringy, weird looking Halloween cat with a big googly head, some ears, and having a fish skeleton bone hanging out of his mouth. Have a couple of Halloween elements here. And I haven't drawn it in there, but I'm going to do the moon. I've simply got a cutout that I've done stencils for moons on, and I'm going to use this. You can do your moons so many ways, but get yourself a stencil, make yourself a cutout, even if you use just simple paper and it's a throwaway once time use only. I want my moon about this big and the cat standing in front of it. So let's first get this sky background going. I've got some soft body titanium white and I simply want to prime up my canvas with this. For my sky colour. Now work out what evening sky colour you want. Dark blue, grey blue, black blue, light blue, I don't know, it's up to you. You're creating your piece, so it's entirely up to you. Use your artist's licence to create the vibe you want. Okay, that's on there. Nice, thin, even coat. There's no retarder in this. I just want something so the colours will slide across that canvas. Real simple and beautiful. Now I'm thinking Prussian blue. I'll try, that's a nice nighttime sky, wouldn't you say? I reckon it is. So I'm going to paint my sky this colour. Now the colour on the canvas will lighten this up a bit. I'm pretty much going to have me moon there, so I'm not, let's just muck around like this, go in a circle. I want all the edges done, just like that. And then I'll simply come like that. Now you can have this as abstracty as you want. I was going to, can even have it like that. Look at that, that's looking nice. All right, I know my template's going to cover that area there, so I've just done that. And I'll simply, I'm not worried about hiding that white, I've just got less blue paint there. But I want to get this to the value I want. So we've got our sky colour. Now I want to darken the edges and get some darker values in there before we finish this sky colour off. Now grabbing some of the Prussian blue at the bottom there, bringing it up here and maybe a little bit in the top corners there. I'm stamping it on and I'll be able to blend that through so as I can see where my darkness is. Get my brush sorted, pull that into the middle of the painting, just like that. Now I can do this as well. And as I do this all the way across, it's just going to add that darkness where I've stamped it on. Now I want a couple of clouds in the sky. I've got my grey, white, and I've still got some of that Russian blue. So what I'm going to do is get some grey over here on my fan brush and just mix up a dark value of grey there with that Prussian blue. Not too much, that'll do. Just so we've got a dark colour for our clouds. Now my moon's going to be in the middle. I want just some simple clouds, so I might just put one about here. Okay, pick up some more and another one about here. And maybe one down here. Grab a blending brush. I want to get the bottoms of these flat, so I'm just going to trace along the bottom, just like that. And just blur that up a bit, not too much because I've got to get some white in there. So there's one, there's two, pull it, and there's three. I'm grabbing another fan brush and my titanium white, just to get these clouds finished. So we'll put this one, see you got that body there. I want to come a bit from beyond the bottom of it. I don't want these clouds too big either. So I want to bring this into the grey a little bit, give it a pillowy bit, bring it down into the grey a bit. I'll just show you on this cloud here, just so you know what I'm doing. So I've got the grey there. I've brought it down little bits, leaving pockets. So when I twist it and merge it, it's still wet. Now, it's important, if I keep going, I'm just going to turn it into a mush, because look what's on the brush. You need to stop and wipe the mess off your brush. And then we can come back later and add just the simplest bit of yumminess into this cloud. But it's got its weather within it. Coming along again, getting it right into there. A bit more white. You can do these clouds however you want with this type of painting. You can even give it that cartoon vibe because of the subject of the matter. It's up to you how abstracty or cartoony you want to make the vibe of this painting. I'm just giving it my method of look, I suppose. Just getting that tops done. There we go. Now I will just add some yumminess to those. So I'm just grabbing the white and adding bits of vibrancy to that cloud. I'll do the three of them at once. And then you want to sit that vibrancy down, but leaving it there. I'm just going to grab another blending brush because that one's getting a bit dirty. So you want to leave that vibrancy there, but you're just sitting it down, giving it bits of twist, turmoil, just whatever. So when it's done, you kind of got a decent dimensional cloud. And get that just sitting down within the cloud there. Now before we dry it, I've just got my toothbrush, I've wet it. Okay, so it's going to hold a puddle of water on my glass palette. And I'm just going to slowly feed in some of that soft body titanium white, just so the tips of the bristles are loaded. It's not all glugged up in there. And we'll just quickly spray on some stars. So I want to be careful not to hit me clouds. Otherwise, if I do, I'll just have to spot them down because the stars are behind the clouds. Probably get some down here. And you can even make some brighter, grabbing some white, yellow. I'm just working out where I feel I might want some large stars, so I might put one here. And some of these, I'll dab some yellow on as well. Okay, just some bigger dots like so. And some of these might get covered up, who knows. Now simply dry that. Just all the way down here, I'm just grabbing some of that yellow now into that same brush. I've dried the canvas. And some of these white stars, just simply put the yellow on. It's going to make the yellow stand out. If you put the yellow just on the blue, it'll look see-through-y and not as powerful as you want it to be, as bright yellow as you want it to be. Over here, I'll make this one yellow. Now I've got me template taped on there, so it's not going to move. You'll be on a table, it'll be better laying down on a table. And the best way to make your moon work, you know where you're going to put it if you're doing it this way. Get yourself a sponge, a fine poured one. Some of them have big pores, but I prefer these ones. And just prime it up by getting it a bit wet. There you go, that's nice and damp. Come down to this soft body titanium white and just start priming in your moon, stamping it in. We need it primed white first for the colours to stand out. So I want to start from the middle, and as I get to the edge, I just want to carefully come to the edge like that. It's very easy, it's not difficult, just have faith in yourself. Now you can make the moon full, half, quarter, crest, whatever you desire. It's totally up to you. I can only show you what colours I'm using and what I'm going to do, but it's up to you to do it the same or change and go your own way. Okay, that can be dried. Now I'm going to go for a bluey, light bluey grey sky, moon. I don't want just a white moon. So what I'm going to do is grab some of this white paint over here, and I've got some phthalo. So let's just start getting that to the value. It's a different vibe to the Prussian blue up there. See, now that was more than enough paint. I haven't washed me sponge. I'll just simply load that up in the same spot. Now I dried this with cool air. If I use hot air, it'll crease this acetate up, this plastic film. Now I just want to come along, get the vibe of it. It's not dried 100%, but it'll do. And I want to kind of just come around my moon and trace it, just making some vibe of a moon. It's quite fun, interesting and easy to do this. I'm holding the template down at the edges, just so as I don't get any silly snotulization coming through the ends of it. We don't want it to look horrible. Now, what I feel I might want to do is just put a slight bit of darkness into that before we highlight it. So in doing that, I'm going to grab some more phthalo blue and get a darker vibe. It can be marbly like that. It doesn't have to be solidly mixed. It's a moon. And we just want less darker areas. I probably want maybe this side here because I'm right-handed. So I'll see if I can, yeah, there we go. Now it's wet. I could have, would have, should have dried it, but I didn't. I don't need to, I don't feel. And I'm just simply going to hover over that side like that. Picking up some more dark onto me sponge. And that's it. I just want to fade it like that. Now I've picked up the phthalo blue. I just so happen I've got a packet of pounces. I've got all different sizes. So I've loaded up the phthalo blue, and as a crater, let's just see if we can kind of get a bit of a, not too heavy, something there, and maybe over here-ish. Just a hint of a crater, and a smaller size, maybe here. I'm just doing a hint of it there, and maybe here. Now I've just done one off camera there. I've just grabbed a soft filbert brush and I'm just dancing the pouncer movements out of my craters there, but keeping the shape. Just like that. Now what I'm doing, like that one, I'll show you on this one, I'm keeping the left side sharp. I'm just kind of dazzling the right side of the crater, just giving it some kind of fading look. Wipe your brush as you go because you're constantly picking paint up and you'll be moving it everywhere. And I'm just simply doing this just before I finish the moon and highlight it. Any iffy bits around these craters that you feel, don't stress because we haven't finished the moon yet. It's going to hide all any imperfections you feel you might have done. And we can also just kind of, if you want to, just scrape some vibe of this behaviour within your moon, just like that, just on the darker area. I'm grabbing the dark paint on the curve of this filbert brush, just from the very edge of the crater, very minimal. Watch what I do here. Now I should have, would have, could have dried it. I might have to dry it. But just around the edge there, like so. And when you're looking at the painting, it's going to give the illusion that the crater's got dimension. I'm just finding the darkest edge of the crater to do it to, not all the way around, so that much of that one. And I just find this brush will pull it off a lot easier. All right, I've given it a dry. I've cleaned my sponge. I'm picking up that soft body titanium white again, just on my sponge here. And I just simply want to come from this white side now and give him a bit more of a sharper glare on this side here. Not too much, don't overdo it. Come across there. Come around there a bit. And some of this can sit within the body of the moon, hiding some of your, there you go.
Got to see you take that template off, Ian.
Yep, we're going to pull that template off now and have a look at our moon. So I'm going to use a knife to peel back my tape. I'll start from here. Now this is where you can get a brush if you feel you need to trim the edges and fine tune them. All right, I've dried the moon. Now some of you have probably noticed or saying, oh, your clouds are behind the moon. So now we're just going to slowly creep them in front. The moon's dry. I have saved that paint. I simply want to continue the grey of that cloud, just like that, just killing the edge of the moon there, tracing back into the cloud, just getting that where I feel I want it, about there, a little bit over here from that one, getting this one a bit darker, tracing it back. Don't just do there, you got to bleed back just to give it that natural look. It wasn't added on look.
Yeah, you don't want that added on look, do you, Ian?
No, you got to try and distort those added on looks. I'm just going to get rid of that edge there with this dark colour. And I'm just simply using this brush to tassel and scrumble and blend, dry blend, just like that. Pick up the white paint and we just want to gingerly scrumble our cloud back in front of our moon there. What I'm going to do is wipe a lot of that off so as I can, or you can even grab yourself a totally different brush to what you've put on. So I'll start again. Put your white on and then scrumble it. Just so you got that cloud look. There we go. Push on where you feel you want your extra white and then quickly dab it down. And we're just getting those clouds in front of the moon. A little bit over here. I've just mixed up a lighter colour of the blue, and from this main one I feel, you don't have to do this, but I just want to add it there. You know how you have those lines coming around the moon, giving it that vibe of, I don't know, I'm just trying to give it more moon vibe. Now the next bit is very easy. All we want is some black and your detailed brushes, a couple of flats and one for getting into pointy areas. I'll quickly mark out what I'm going to block in. And about that high, I want my hill, and I want the hill coming from about this wide to about that wide. So that's about how wide I want my crest of a hill. And all this will be blocked in, and then from there we'll have just the slightest bit of land poking up, coming up into the painting there like that, just from here, bit of a step coming up. So simply block that in. Also while you're at it, grab your flat brush, come from about here, and we'll put a bit of a cross. So watch how easy it is to do a cross. Just simply get the top of it where you want. I've got so much stuff in my way here. So I want that coming up from there and coming down to a point. Make that like a pick type of thing. So it's on a bit of an angle. Coming across here like so. And across here. So I've made the right side a little bit wider than the left side. And block that in. And I'll simply do one on this side. Just straight up. Straight up. I'll block it in off camera if I can. Now I've even put a grey one in the background there. I'm going to make a traceable for this cat I put on there. So for those people who can't draw it freehand, you can get a traceable. Go to the traceable link in the description below. It's connected to my Facebook pictures, so you need to be on Facebook to access them. Simply, we're going to put a head, so his body's going to come up on some skinny legs, rather bandy legs, to about maybe that height there. I'll just get the legs to the height I want, about there. I'll get a bit of a neck and a body. I'm using a filbert brush because I can get those round edges that I'm looking for. I like cats. Cats are great. That round, I should have made the traceable for me too, eh? There. Now I've changed to a different brush to get the shape of his head. It's just simply going to be about, I want it way out here. So it's going to be an upside down shape like that. Now, I found this inspiration on FreePic, a free website where they've got lots of pictures. You can find cats, Halloween stuff, whatever there. And now we want the height of his head about here, coming down. The height of his head sort of flat but round, coming down, coming down. Now he's going to have an ear about here. Same on the other side. Now I don't want it like a, I've got to get that a bit more out there, I feel. That's better. See this brush here, I've got those, that's better. Now I'm going to use even a smaller brush, just so as I can get the edge of his cheeks in there. A little flick like that. And then a point like that. And maybe another point like that. Just giving his legs now, this back leg has a bit of a hip sticking out there, real bony, scrawny looking thing. And I'll put this leg on the inside because I went too wide. And of course he needs a tail. Tail's just going to come up, down and hook, just like that. And also we just need our little pumpkins here. We'll put one here. So let's see if I can get a pumpkin shape here. Just something like that. Now I've got a paint pen. I'm going to detail like some, let's see if it's not going to pick up white paint, some whiskers, or if you've got a beautiful brush that does it for you, use that. But these pens are great as well for doing a couple of cranky looking whiskers there. There. Something off here. Colour it in. A bit of a stem. Now I've given it a dry. Like I said, there'll be a stencil for this, a traceable for this, so you don't have to know how to draw. Now we're going to do his eye. So from about the middle there, I'm going to block it in with white because I want them to be yellow. And his eye is going to come pretty much to the bottom of his ear, so all the way up here. We'll get another one cranky looking all the way over here. Okay, and then got to paint all this white. That's why I'm using this colour, to paint it white so as the yellow will stand out. And I could probably just go like that. And then he's going to have a belly coming from here. This is going to be a different colour belly all the way around there, but it's got to be painted in white. And the same with these pumpkins. So they're going to have their eyes. I'm just giving you this now so you got an idea of what's coming up. A couple of eyes, and then a big wide scary mouth, and they're going to have like teeth in them. But I'm going to block all that in white now, just so you get a gist of it. Now, if this white wasn't there, the colour I put over it will be very weak and see-through. This is going to prime it and make it stand out on its own merit. Just another thing, don't worry putting this white primer on if you go outside of your lines, because you can always cut it back with the black to shape it. Okay, I've got cadmium yellow medium. Leaving his belly stomach out, or his stomach area out, just simply get all this blocked in now with the yellow colour. Now, like I said, I'm going to deliberately go out of some of these lines just so as you'll get a gist of what you can do. It's not a problem because we're not finished yet. We're sitting things in front and forward from each other. I've actually got dioxine, is it dioxine purple, is it? All right, well, we'll add a bit of white to it. There, oh, look at that, that's nice and vivid and rich, I like that. I did this side here, that white in his ear, because it's too loud. I'm just going over that nice and gingerly. Hair on his chest. I'm grabbing my white paint pen and I just simply want to go from here around, I'll make sure my glove's dry, it's okay, over here where a tail can be, and I want to get like a, just get some kind of, that'll be all white. And we'll try and give him a fish. Now, it's not a perfect fish bone, but it represents a fish bone. I grabbed a smear of this brush that had the white paint in it, just into that dioxine purple, just to add some shadow within that white fish. Maybe there. maybe around his eye. Now just to fix up where we went over our lines, showing you how easy it is, I'm just going to cut his eye back in. Look at this, nice and sharp. And blend it back into the rest of the painting as well. Cleaning up the edges, look at that, nice and sharp. Now if you're good at keeping inside the lines, you wouldn't have to come back and do this. You could just paint the yellow and you're done. Now this guy needs a couple of eyeballs looking at the cat. He's a bit worried about that cat. If you can eat that fish, are you going to eat us next? But I don't think they have to worry, because I don't think that cat's a vegetarian. And we'll put a couple of teeth there, all straight ahead. And he's got a couple of teeth going on there.
And don't forget the cat.
The cat's going to have two sharp pupils. One there on a bit of a curve. One there. I'm just going to fix his eyes up now, so his eyes need that frown coming beyond. There we go. You can leave yours white. I'm just grabbing that light and purple that I went over these other ear lines and that with. And I'm just gingerly going over that, because this on its own wouldn't stand out this loud. I needed that white there to prime it. Doing that, and I'm also going to use the pen as well, just to get some nice finer ones. Let's reveal it and whack a frame on it. There we go, that's not too shabby. Spooky, fun, crazy looking Halloween cat. Beautiful. And I know you can do it. Well, I had a lot of fun doing that. Thanks for sticking around to the end. Tell your friends if you like what I'm doing, but if you don't like what I'm doing, you tell everybody. Have a look at this other video of mine as well while you're at it. Goodbye, good luck, and good on you.